some mobility to it, but definitely the most stagnant Hippie Fiasco rides again ever. Hippie Fiasco records again, sits and mixes and listens to the same section of a song a million times again.
And like right now, there's a camera thing, but are you switching sometimes? So if you log on, you're seeing what you actually mixing.
The Logic screen for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. As easy as that.
Right. Okay.
And then sometimes I do the old throw me into the bottom. So now like I'm right here. You see the Logic screen, but you can see me.
And then what's the deal with the creeper cam or whatever?
That's another channel on our website for the people that watch us. Everybody has access to that password and log in. Okay. So anybody that watches us at any point in time can broadcast anything from wherever they are in the world. So I'm at a cool show, so they can log on, or we're making music right now.
And there can be like multiple creeper things on at once?
No.
No, it's one.
We have to steal from each other.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's not that. There's not enough people doing it really that I can't wait till that becomes a great issue.
Yeah.
I was trying to broadcast and then I stole it.
I think we were jamming for 0 viewers out there.
Right. We were the only viewer.
Oh, you guys were.
But the cool thing about it is that it's all archived. So as far as storytelling, you know, if you're actually doing something that's you know, or making music or art or whatever, it's there. It's in the archives. Yeah. It doesn't matter who's witnessing, who's bearing witness. It's the fact that it's actually happening is archived.
And you guys, like, on the 4 months, you guys were like regularly like doing highlights and stuff like that, right? Or like labeling, like you'd label like whatever we went here or there, for
right?
Or whatever.
Yeah. Every time you save, you name it, and then every night or every morning, usually every morning, I'd wake up, have coffee, and start downloading and highlighting the day before, and labeling on a hard drive like what each clip was. And we did it as we went along too.
It doesn't take, as long as you just make a routine of that, it's probably not too tedious to.
Right. It's still like incredibly tedious. Like for instance, there's when it comes to making the ultimate movie, there is this running joke like from the beginning of the fiasco that we should like stalk like heroes of mine. Like we should just stalk.
I was kind of hearing some stories
and one of the key ones was Todd Snyder, and we were like, let's stalk Todd Snyder.
Yeah.
And we talked about that like probably 6 or 7 times before the actual fruition, where we actually, because we knew Vince, got backstage access and like had Hippie Fiasco set up backstage at a Todd Snyder show and had an interview with Todd Snyder and all these great little moments. Like it culminated, and as a storyline, it was a completion of this like awesome storyline in terms of the story we were telling. Finding those moments, because that was never labeled in the early days, and that we never said like, oh, and we're gonna stalk Todd Snyder. We definitely talked about it on the webcast several times.
Right.
But when it comes to like editing the footage together to tell the story and like finding those Todd Snyder moments, it's a needle in a fucking haystack.
Yeah.
It really is.
Wow.
That one specifically pisses me off, and there's others like that.
Right, and a lot of that storytelling thing is retroactive or whatever, right? Because you're probably like seeing a story emerge sometimes, right. So then you have to go back and find what leads up.
Exactly. To
the telling of the story.
Anybody that like really wanted to, I think, make the Hippie Fiasco movie would need like a staff. It would be amazing to have like 40 kids, each taking a week.
Yeah.
That's the way like George Lucas would do it, or something, like Hollywood, or TV people if they were gonna do it. Just have like a whole staff.
Yeah.
For like 1 or 2 or 3 people, or it's. So we're just gotta take the cream, the shit that's already floated to the
Yeah.
top and try to exploit that for all it has to offer. The
The
nuance.
possibilities
Right.
just keep going. Yeah.
Definitely going to be spending my winter with Hippie Fiasco Rides Again, the record, Hippie Fiasco Rides Again, the movie, and Hippie Fiasco Rides Again, the webisodes, and Hippie Fiasco Rides Again, the touring model. You know, it's like, it's a whole career if like really played right.
It's funny, like, to see how it kind of evolved, because I remember visiting you maybe 2 years ago or whatever, and you were like on this idea of doing all this stuff for other people, basically, like getting the mobile recording and doing all the production, that kind of stuff, and like basically like just you ended up, fuck, I'm taking all this on the road and I'm just gonna do this all, like.
What was I talking about?
In Stanton, you had like the idea of like doing like
Storytellers multimedia or whatever. Like,
I don't remember. I mean, it was just like you were gonna do just all this. Seemed like production stuff for people. Like if somebody wanted to do a movie or something like that, or at a concert and they wanted it shot or something like that.
Right.
So like you were just figuring out how to do all that stuff.
Right. Yeah, there was a few months there where I was like starting Storyteller Multimedia. And it was like this pool of people of like, if you have a story you want to tell and capture, we'll do it. From like weddings to bar mitzvahs, kind of like that kind of inspiration. But like way beyond anything you've ever had. Like interviews that cut deep with the bride and the groom and the family, and like, you know, like good music to it.
Yeah, like your own documentary.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Exactly. And there's a lot of people out there that hire people and pay people a lot of shit to do stuff like that aren't necessarily thinking about it on that storyteller kind of level, but it's the same shit. It's just us doing it instead of the other people you hire.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's probably, yeah, then there's the levels of like how do you like get that stuff out of people, like what are the right questions to ask somebody, or what are the right conditions in which to get somebody willing to like just start maybe like going deeper with stuff.
Right. It probably like where I was from and what I was thinking it would like, because that was back in Stanton, and a lot of the dreams are a little different out there, and like probably like the ultimate evolution of that probably would have been like almost like that Robin Williams movie or something, like the preservation of a soul or something, like my granddad's about to die, you know, like get him telling this story.
Yeah.
Or like the preservation of someone's story, or
totally. Yeah, it's like writing a memoir, but just a different.
Right.
Different technology. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that. I've just been thinking about this as the real time kind of a thing. I didn't think about the implications of everything being archived.
Right.
It's all there to do.
Right.
All that stuff.
And done by a very intentional storyteller. I mean, that was my saving grace. I knew that was my saving grace every step of the way. I was like, success or not, this story is gonna last forever. I knew it. Like even the fact that it wasn't archived, I felt like there's something about the archives that's like proof, like and like a way to retell it and retell it and retell it. Anybody has access to that stuff. It's not that they would; it's that they could. You know. I don't see why anybody necessarily would, but it's just there's a power to that. That footage, you go back and you just sort of the space we were operating in, like all that footage is magic, and that could just be me speaking, really could. But still, like it's like a veteran of Because I mean, really, like I've been doing this for a long time. When I was on the road with the Slip as their merch guy, like the third day, my dad sent the video camera to me, and it was just like this idea of like, oh my god, this life I'm experiencing is so magic. Like how can this? I mean, I gotta catch this, you know, like, and that's sort of like what makes me a songwriter. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta catch, even if it's just a sunrise or a river or a person or a love or like a great party or a fight or an anger. It's like how do I catch this butterfly or
Yeah.
what? It's like how do I? And I've always had that compulsion.
Uh-huh.
And this is just like the ultimate culmination of like years of that, but it's also like knowing what it's like to be behind a camera and like get that great shot with an amazing light where like, you know, just those great moments with cinematography or photography and like a life of running with artists and
Yeah.
people that love that and dabbling in it all myself
Yeah.
extremely.
Yeah, and how all that can come together. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the ultimate. I mean, when we were on the hippie fiasco, to me, it was the ultimate culmination of all my years of like all my fascinations,
Yeah.
even down to like close up magic. I was like, oh my
Uh-huh.
god! Like even it was even the best venue I've ever had for 40 or 33 years of studying close up magic. You know, it's like finally it didn't work on stage, that's for sure. But here's an eternal entertainment outlet of an audience
Yeah.
for some close-up magic tricks, you know, like on so many levels. Just poetry, like I don't, for some reason it culminated in a really powerful way.
Yeah, I was watching this documentary. Maybe you've seen it's about the Burning Man festival, and they're interviewing the dude. It's kind of the guy that started it all, and he's like, that was kind of his like Burning Man was his culmination kind of his life, and he's like, I was just kind of fucking around and just following whatever impulse and just whatever sort of scene right at the time, and it just seemed like I was, yeah, just kind of fucking around, just kind of doing my thing, and all of a sudden it just sort of culminated in this. You know?
It was
Like,
obvious to
how
him.
could I have known, you know, that all that stuff was going to lead up to this? You know, and basically the moral of the story was just keep just doing kind of whatever seems right, you know, because you never know when things are going to coalesce or whatever, you know.
Right. And the things that seem obvious to you are your genius because they don't seem obvious to the person next to you.
What do you mean?
That's something somebody said to me this weekend. I'm still processing, but
Yeah.
when he said it, it like really struck me. But he was sort of talking to me. He came to me. He's like, you know, the things that are obvious to you, you talk about them like they're obvious. They're
Oh
not
yeah,
obvious.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Ah, he's like, but the way
Yeah.
you talk about them like they're obvious.
Yeah.
Bless you, thank you. I'm like, oh, well, okay, I don't know what to do with that, but I know I'm going to be thinking about that for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But that's probably true for anybody that is passionate about something.
Yeah. Like non-musicians have no idea what musicians are talking about when musicians are talking about music
Right,
often.
exactly.
You know?
And when they're playing it,
Yeah, yeah,
what's obvious to you on the bass is to someone that doesn't play the bass.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
obvious doesn't even mean anything anymore.
yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's. I've been thinking about the importance of yeah, persistence and um, I don't know if being prolific is like the right way to put it, but just kind of like always just pushing forward and working on your, you know, your thing, your art or whatever, and you know, like whatever. There's great artists that have just some shitty stuff out there, you know, and it's just they push forward, just keep making stuff. Like, you know, you go to somebody who paints their house, it's just full of thousands of canvases or whatever, and maybe out of that, whatever, there's these brilliant things, but then there's just some whatever. But the point is, every day they wake up and they keep like doing that every day, you know.
Right.
And I was thinking about that with
Right.
you, how you just like keep on doing it, like you're just like
You too.
always.
Right.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. But like, obviously, there's some days where it's just like, what the fuck, you know, I'm just whatever, going through the motions and
Right.
blah blah blah, whatever. But that doesn't matter. The important thing is like just continuing, like.
We don't really have much of a choice. Dave's older than me, I think, a little bit. I mean, it's like, what are we gonna do? Our chips are sort of been on the table for a long time.
Those are like some like when it's you, it's like your subjective thing, and you know you're just doing day-to-day stuff. You know, I just wrote a new tune. What? Here's a new tune. You know, add it to the list or whatever. You know what I mean? And then start writing another one, and kind of don't think much of all those little things. But then somebody from the outside, sort of looking at what you do, it's a different perspective. I don't know.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just can't articulate it. It's just the importance of persistence, I guess. You know?
Right. No, I've thought a lot about that. Definitely thought a lot about that. I mean, the funny thing is that when I really thought a lot about that was about 7 years ago. I remember it distinctly. Like, oh my God, this persistence is such a powerful thing. I've actually transcended persistence at this point.
Yeah.
How old are you?
38.
Right, so we're about the same. I'm about to turn 41. But like my mid-30s, I was really fascinated by persistence and thinking that was sort of the key. Now I'm my transcendence of that is that I think actually great things, great endeavors, great leaps are pretty awesome too. Because you can get stuck in persistence and just like into a routine.
Yeah.
And routine persistence is not necessarily that powerful of a thing.
Yeah, just being
You have to be like persistently like risky, like or something, or just the idea of like within persistence, great leaps or of faith or whatever endeavors is still a really important thing. Just like what set us out on this thing in the first place. It began with a great leap, a great declaration to the world. Like, no, I'm going to be this.
Right.
And, like that, and then we thrived off that for years because we made the declaration to the world and we'll prove them wrong or whatever it is.
Right.
And then comes persistence. But then, like,
you have to renew that
or something, right?
Yeah.
Can't let the world forget that you're
yeah
against it or or something.
Yeah
You can't just fall into place with it.
It's that kind of idea of
That's a
protest or something.
Yeah, I mean it's you gotta and you can't even return to where it started. I mean, renewal is something new. You can't even talk about it in old terms. Like, it's not about like remembering or going back or.
Yeah.
It's not a cyclical thing. Funny because it does seem like a a lot of the even like friends I know that like were really successful at an earlier age still have to go through like a lot of similar things. A lot of what I mean for me, like I figure like everything I've done is because I'm not successfully. I'm like trying to figure out how to crack this thing. But like maybe if I cracked it a long time ago, I'd be trying to figure out how to crack some other thing now that
Right.
it seemed just as important and sort of sad and sort of excited and like all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it, the opposite's what, like resting on your laurels or something. Like,
Right. Yeah. What was it? Right. I've always done a pretty good job of living the dream of an artist, even like without ever being very successful. Just sort of like always being able to relate to it, understand it, like understand why I'm not successful or whatever, but like in a way that didn't change what I wanted to be. Like I just gotta learn, or I don't know,
being able to
like
see
I'm
the
not
meaning
ready
of
yet.
it.
Like I wasn't ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Like
Uh-huh.
someday I'll be ready, and then like
Yeah, yeah.
in some weird way,
Uh-huh.
like not blaming it on the world. Like a lot of people I know, like didn't make it and got really bitter and jaded, and
Right.
that was never my stance. I was never like, oh fuck you or fuck the world. I was like, I always just took it on myself, maybe to a
Yeah.
fault, but I'd be like, yeah, of course, like, of course I haven't been more successful. Like I got so much work to
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
as like a human being, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not even ready for that shit. I'm 40 years old, but still,
Yeah.
like I've always, maybe even to a fault, like never blamed the world
Yeah,
for my
I've never
failure.
seen that from you. I've never seen that jaded musician thing at all. For
Right.
some other people.
It's there though. I mean, I mean, I mean, I could, but not like that. I've seen it in other people. It's not my tendency.
Yeah.
Definitely can easily take that all on myself. Probably to a fault.
Huh.
I just don't need. I shouldn't get too good at that because apparently, like, now that like I've actually enjoyed some moments of sort of some buzz and like success or whatever, I'm not really prepared for that.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm almost apologetic, like to that makes like people that love me a little uncomfortable. Because
Uh-huh.
now that like when I'm up at Strawberry Music Festival, they want the people that have followed me for all these years want to just see me go up there and enjoy the fact, like I've arrived,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and I'm up there being the fumbler, or you know, that guy that spent 20 years accepting the fact that I'm not ready, that I'm
Yeah.
flawed,
Yeah.
that like accepting my failure, and like I'm not gonna go. I'm not celebrating shit.
Uh-huh.
It's not like suddenly I walk onto this stage and I'm like, yeah, it's funny. I can see what they're saying. If you came out, although I killed it, people that had never heard me before are like, who the fuck is this guy?
Huh.
People that had known me for years were like, oh man, why were you like so down on yourself?
Huh. Interesting.
It's
Yeah,
not gonna.
like as a performer, even like the most special gigs at some level, you have to have the mindset that it's just another gig.
Right.
Like, I don't know, I was thinking about that. Like, what if a big gig came along? What if I got called to play at Carnegie Hall?
Right.
Something like that. I could be terrified and petrified and not play the way I'm capable of playing.
Right.
Or I could have the approach of, well, I might, it's a special day for sure.
Right.
But it's just another gig. And, it's like,
Right.
But I've got like the mindset I'm trying to cultivate is being a sideman
Right.
musician, and that's like my
Supportive.
thing. Yeah, and so that's like the professionalism I'm trying to develop is like how can I just best like do the gig, like
Right.
you know, so what am I practicing that's helping that, and what am I, you know, how am I just thinking about music that's helping me, like, to be a good supporting musician, you know?
It's a fucking beautiful thing. I'm, I'm jealous of that a lot because for me it's like such a high wire act. My ego is sort of my personality, and it's like a stand up comedian up there almost, like trying to get the laughs, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, my ego's still just as wrapped up in it all.
Right.
You know, it's just in a different
Right.
outlet.
Right.
You know. But yeah, but you're.
Yeah,
I don't think I want to do what you do. I mean, part of me maybe fantasizes about it, you know, but like, it's a different ball of wax.
I know I spent a lot of time romanticizing and just wishing someone would call me to play the banjo or like, you know, because I play a lot of music, but like nobody calls me to help because I'm the front guy.
Yeah.
And, like, and nobody. It's sort of like, it's at the same time it's me, like Willie walks in and I know he can make my music sound amazing, but I can't imagine asking him to play my shit. Like, I don't even, although I'm gonna I'm gonna figure it out. But like, of all people, he's the stumper that was here tonight. Like, what could Willie do for the record?
Okay.
Like, to me, like, that's an enigmatic thought. For, you know, you play bass and Ian plays violin and Dave plays mandolin. It's like, yeah, like, what song needs some mandolin? It's a whole different way of thinking of things.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you got like they got the shaman or whatever that we all follow. It's like, what's he gonna play on the thing?
I'm gonna have to look into his music a little bit.
I wish, yeah, it would have been a good night for a little picking.
Yeah. Me and Ben were playing out there when
you didn't suck him in though.
Well, we were like playing jazz tunes and stuff. I don't know if that's, maybe he's comfortable with that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know. And we weren't playing that good either.
You guys sounded fucking amazing. How about this one? Yeah. This has Willie playing harmonica on it, actually. This could use some thumping bass.
Yeah.
Catch me, Jesus. Damn, that man is smooth. Trying to catch me, Jesus. In this motel room. There's a Bible on the nightstand. Shadows on the bathroom wall. Trying to catch me, Jesus. Don't come when I call. My mama's got a Jesus. Maybe I could just take her. Grandma got a Jesus. Worn around her neck like pearl. My granddad called him a Jesus. Found him in the wall. I'm trying to catch me a Jesus. Like those that came before. I set a snare in the forest. I threw a net in the sea. Everywhere I go, I dig a little hole and cover it with sticks and leaves. I'm under covers now with a flashlight, trying not to breathe. I'm trying to catch me a Jesus. They say he can set me free.
That's you on the harmonica.
Yeah. first break, and then back to Willie. Willie's doing all the really nice right through the thing.
My dad called him a Jesus at the end of fishing pole. Had a long talk with that Jesus and decided to let him go. Now that Jesus gets a little bigger every time the story's told. Trying to catch me a Jesus, I want me a Jesus of my own.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to play.
You wanna do
Yeah.
These breaks are a little like, maybe you can really help reel them in because they're a little swimmy, but I think they all land back on the G in the same place.
Wall. Mama's got a Jesus.
Here it goes. There's a little sort of D in there to bring that like back home really strong. It's really ambivalent right now. Like, there's another one here.
Trying to catch me a Jesus. I want me a Jesus of my own.
We gotta commit to one. You can help me commit.
So is that
The first time I throw a little D in there when it breaks.
right? I didn't hear it the second time.
All right. So we can add it to the second one or take it from the first one. Sorry. That bass is fake. Hold on. I don't even know if anything else does actually. So I took the bass out, so it's really up to you. And there's this one. What that one do?
You keep that solo.
No, I mean nothing's. But that part, like
I'd say just probably put it in there because it gives
the
it
D.
yeah. That's
Okay. Each time,
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know, it just totally gives it that
a place to go.
yeah. And that's what would be going on when you're singing the melody.
Well,
right?
that's different than the singing parts. singing parts.
Take her. Grandma got her a Jeep. I'm trying to catch me a Jesus.
When it comes to these little breakdowns, it's like a whole like isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Can you turn up the bass up a little bit?
was fun.
Yeah, dude, I take it.
That was fun. Do you want another just in case? You don't need.
Yeah, I don't think I started quite.
Okay.
Kind of like.
Wait for it. It's okay. It's the closest we came to peeking. I think we're all right. Okay. Yeah. ending's growing on me. Nice.
Yeah, you know what? The last note or two, I was thinking, like, should I give a little slow down on it? And I was like, no, I'm just gonna keep it going because it's like that's all it does is just. You know what, man? Like I was thinking during that. I've been on this kick lately. I was driving in somewhere and had on the radio and Cheap Sunglasses came on.
Uh-huh.
ZZ Top.
Right.
Like, those guys are are fucking genius.
Right, for sure.
And people don't
For
realize
sure.
it and understand it.
Well, they're huge.
Or maybe I
People
use that
do.
word, you know. But yeah, but I don't know. That's what I was thinking of when I was playing that.
Perfect.
ZZ Top.
Right.
You know.
Straight ahead.
Yeah.
Straight ahead.
Yeah. Man, you're singing just, I mean, this blues kind of stuff, like,
There's something going on
Sure,
there.
dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something going on there.
sure.
You wanna bow one before you go to bed, or are you done?
I could try. I haven't been excited about the way I've been sounding playing with the bow lately.
You haven't
I can
been
give it a
bowing much.
try. Well, it's these strings. I'm using these gut strings, and they sound so good just plucked. They're so fat. And that's like an old school sound, right?
So
But
good.
then
So good.
when you bow, you'll hear when I bow 'em, it's just hard to get them to sound warm. They sound real like nasally with the bow,
Right.
which is weird because they sound real warm, plucked.
Right.
But you'll hear it. It's hard to keep it.
If it's not a guttural.
Yeah, it's hard. One, it's just hard to keep from getting that scratchy bow
Right,
sound.
right.
You know, that's like just more of a challenge. But that's all they used before they had steel strings. You know, so if they could do it back then, I can do it now. I'm trying to figure out.
Trying to get
Why you keep it strong at the top on one of those? Am I tripping?
I don't think I did either
You
one.
never did?
Actually. Yeah.
trying to catch me, Jesus.
As long as I didn't miss something.
Trying to catch me, Jesus. Damn, that man is smooth. Trying to catch me, Jesus. In this motel room, there's a Bible on the nightstand, shadows on the bathroom wall.
Sure.
Trying to catch me, Jesus. Don't come when I call. My mama's got a Jesus. Maybe I could just take her. Grandma got a Jesus. Going around and act like Pearl. My granddad called him a Jesus. Found him in the wall. I'm trying to catch me a Jesus. Like those that came before.
So nice.
I set a snare in the forest. I threw a net in the sea. Everywhere I go, I dig a little hole and cover it with sticks and leaves. I'm under covers now with a flashlight, trying not to breathe. I'm trying to catch me a Jesus. They say he can set me free. Jesus and deciding to let him go. Now that Jesus gets a little bigger every time the story's told. Trying to catch me a Jesus, I want me a Jesus of my own.
That ending is gonna figure itself out.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
That song can't really have a convicted ending.
And also, I was gonna say, I think this stuff sounds okay that I'm putting down, but if, as you're like going back and listening to it, if you're like, oh, something is not quite right there, whatever, I won't be offended if you need to use something else or fix it.
Well, you
whatever,
know what? I
what
don't
mean?
give it. I do. It doesn't really matter if you're offended or not.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean that's
whatever
that's
happens.
sort of how that's those are the rules. But awesome, yeah. No allegiance but to the record.
Yeah, that's probably that's the way it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's really just that simple. I think it's gonna all be obvious and no brainers. Like either there's something wrong with your bass track or someone played a better line.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's sort of that's one of the beauties of like part of Hippie Fiasco is me recognizing that anarchy needed a new leader. You know, it's a complete contradiction in terms, but I'm a troubadour, so like I'm not in a band. It's not a democracy. You know, there's none of those energies.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of shit on the cutting room floor. I don't. I'm in a perfect place. You know, like a free spirit kind of. It's all about me. It's
yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of. I haven't quite wrapped my head around what you're doing and the potential volume of material that you're going to have at the end of all this. That's going to be some interesting
Right.
editing, and
I think it's
it's still a one-man band ultimately, like in
right.
some ways, you know, it's all these different players, but it's like
The orchestra,
yeah.
conjuring it from. I mean, I actually. It's funny because like it was the same with the tour and it's the same with this project. I'm at the perfect level to pull off what I've been trying to pull off, like Hippie Fiasco. Like if there was more than like 20 people at a time in the chat, then it sort of got not participatory, not conversational. If like there's 50 or 100,
Right, it's just
like
random.
all of a sudden it's like then it's like the chat's like moving like this. It's like the pace of the chat was like the level of participation and intimacy and like genuine like magic in a way. Like if it's moving like this, you're in there, you're involved. You know, the faster it goes, the less real it all becomes, and all of a sudden you're nobody's anything anymore. Again, you know, and like so it would have like fucked itself. But then at the same time, I've been touring for 20 years, so we could actually travel the whole country and play at fans' houses.
Yeah, right.
You know, that was like my perseverance and stuff. Like gave it that kind of gravity or whatever. So we could travel the whole country and play to people that loved me and like, and but at the same time, I was small enough to keep it to where like at the whole time it was all participatory. And I think the same thing's going to happen with the record. Like, I'm going to get a lot of information, but not too much, or not that big. If I was like Sting or somebody, you know, or like even Iron and Wine or Bon Iver or somebody like just that much bigger than me. I'm at the perfect level to do what I'm doing. All this stuff, I'm just I'm at the right place at the right time, or at least I'm like using wonderful use of exactly where I am at the moment. But it all serves it. Like it's actually happening. People from all over are sending me parts for the record, and they're going in. They're falling right into place.
Right, and hopefully that's how most of the process goes. Is that it sort of parts select themselves, kind of.
Exactly.
Right?
It all just sort of organically.
Thing, and
people are filling in spaces, and it's like, oh.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of like, oh, I got 5 bases to choose from for at all, like, because that's part of the 24/7 stream too. It's all conversational. It's all happening. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. We're gonna be listening and doing this stuff, and like some random bass part out of the blue is gonna be talked about. You know, like, well, wait, what's going on? Troy's got that. I mean, or whatever. You know, it's all good. It's not that overwhelming of a conversation if you want to partake in it.
Yeah.
To find a place. If I was bigger, you know, like the opening day, there'd be like, there is that potential, but I'm just at the perfect place to pull this off. We're like a weekend. We got 3.5 more weeks to go or whatever. It's a finite session. And maybe my masterpiece. It's feeling it, I'm in it. I'm in the studio. This could be it.
It's like interesting how you can. I mean, I've been on a totally, when it comes to recording, I've been on a whole different, the exact kind of opposite approach, all about getting the live take with the band, you know what I mean? Like playing in a group, you get things sounding where you want them, hit record and do 1 take, maybe 2 takes, you know, and then it's just there.
Right.
You know, but just thinking about all the layers, and you know, you add on and add on, but then you can take out, replace, or whatever, you know.
Right.
It's so malleable, I guess.
I think this shit's gonna be super malleable because part of the whole like template idea was like to like, even though my nature fucked it up on so many of these tracks, but the idea was that we're playing to a click, so it's all like cut and we can deconstruct on a level, on any level we want.
Yeah.
If we want 3 choruses there, right there. If we want to take the first chorus and flip it to the third chorus, if we want to do, I mean, that kind of pop song malleability, like where the bridge should be a bar shorter. Well, let's just fucking splice it, and which actually is old school too.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that's not completely a digital thing. Because like back in the day, even with reel tapes, there were entire stations of people that spliced,
cut it,
and they thought in terms of those same squares,
right,
and moved shit around like crazy.
Yeah, man. Even on jazz recordings, there's this Miles Davis album I've listened to just zillions of times, and I was listening to it on a drive recently, and there was always this spot during the trumpet solo where I would always get off, like, you know, it's a really fast thing, and it's really sort of ambiguous changes and stuff, and the drummer's all, you know, all over, and so, you know, I'm always just listening, just trying to stay with it. You know, I'm the bass player, so I'm just you know, right there every beat. But there was always this one spot during the trumpet solo where it just seemed like things got off, and it was like, what's going on there? And I just listened to it over and over again, and I swear I can hear like an edit in there, you know, and you wouldn't think that would happen at all in a live performance, but I think they might have spliced in like a second take, just the entire thing, you know, and it's kind of like adds like half a beat or something, you know. It was driving me crazy trying to figure that out, but you know, that was, you wouldn't think that there'd be any kind of editing like that going on and something like that. Totally improvised music, you know. Did you have to limit yourself to how many songs do you have? 16? 18? Did you just at some point start not going to put more on, or are you like thinking like
it does? I mean, there are so many other songs that I want to. Third of these wolves. Let me get there's because it's my 18 new songs. There's a part of me that like a few times I've been like, oh, I want to do that song, like older songs, some of the tried and trues that want this love that all these new songs are getting.
Yeah.
Why are these new songs getting all that love? Because you already got your well, it wasn't that great, you know. Rubber Ball and stuff like that. Like I like my own version. Stuff I think they're real accessible, and some of my prouder works that I know are tried and true, but there's something, I mean, it is, I wrote these songs on the Fiasco tour, so they're actually all documented by the webcast.
Oh wow.
The birth of the song, almost every song is on the webcast.
That's pretty cool.
So there's a whole way it all ties in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is the one I was thinking about you bowing. There's no I mean, if you're not familiar,
I'll give it a try.
I can completely back this shit up.
Just say it.
See?
I wish I could say it out loud. I wish I could spell it out. But I don't even know what I'm on about. Some things oughta just not found. I wish I could call it by name. If by name it was called, it would come. But it is never twice the same. And it's not even if it's someone. Just say it. Just say it. Watching the world pass me by. I feel like there's a teacup in my eye. To passers-by it makes no sense. What's the use of a boy upon a fence? But I've been sitting here for days. I've been sitting here for years. I've heard every word they've said. I have two very big ears. Just say it. Just say it. Ordinarily, I'd be shining one. But when they convince me they should run, they should run. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Just saying.
Yeah. There's no bass on this yet either. But,
A flat.
yeah, buddy. Go on
The air in this town is different from
it. Any other?
where we.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just feel it on my strings and my bow.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it feels good to breathe it, that's for sure. See, those are the steel strings, right? And then here's the gut strings. It's just
I like them. I like them.
you like it?
Just check them out in the headphones. They sound good actually.
this way so I have a little more slack. And then...
Dig in right there, yeah. Now, like, it's like,
that, yeah, there's a bridge part.
oh yeah. The C sharp. Ordinarily, D sharp, G sharp, D sharp, F minor, and back to the top. G sharp.
Okay. I'll give it a try. It's yeah, challenging, but
I think you try like at least at the very top, like do like the long drone and don't even go to the change.
Just
drone over it.
Yeah, okay. I guess it's
Awesome.
pretty straightforward.
So good. Yeah, it really is. So just for your peace of mind, let's go ahead and grab the break. The C sharp, D sharp,
Oh yeah.
G sharp, D sharp, F minor.
F minor.
Just so it's not like this looming thing ahead of you. Willing to let you get away without doing it first. Cool. One top to bottom?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we got it. If you want to just rest on your laurels. Listening to the record right there.
Yeah. That's cool.
I thought that was perfect.
Cool.
Yeah. I sure did. Thought that was fucking perfect. I kept thinking you had it on the last one. I kept thinking, oh, yeah, that's cool. I'll do one more. I can grab that from the. You nailed it.
Yeah, and there's a couple of pitchy spots, but
Oh, right, those.
but it is what it is. You know?
What a
So is
sound.
that Onion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a sound. Powerful sound.
I like that. It's a cool interval leap
Yeah, yeah.
down that minor 6.
Watching the world passing by, I feel like there's a tear in my eye. To passers-by, it makes no sense. What's the use of a boy upon a fence? But I've been sitting here for days. I've been sitting here for years. I've heard every word they've said. I have two very big ears. Just say it. Just say it. Ordinarily, I've been shining one. When they convince me they should run. They should run. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Into it. So perfect. Almost let you get away. I know. If it's too much effort, don't worry. What the fuck? Who's that guy? Who is that guy? Fuck him. I'm not into him at all right now. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I was
Thank
going to
you
go to
a
bed
million
earlier.
times.
I'm glad I stayed up.
Thank you a million times.
Oh, man.
These are
thank you.
3 really crucial parts you just gave me.
Glad I could be a part of it. Yeah, that's great. I didn't even know that we were going to run into you on this tour. And at some point, Dave's like, "Oh yeah, Nathan's in San Francisco." I was like,
Yeah.
"Sweet," because I got that Facebook thing you sent out when when you're kind of launching things.
Right, right.
And I looked at the site and I looked at all the tracks and I was like, "Oh, I got to make a point of checking these out." But I don't have a recording studio at home. I mean, I just
Right.
just don't have it set up. So I was like, shoot, how am I going to figure this out? How am I going to
Nice.
get the tracks?
I made it. In that
So-
sense, I made it really easy on you.
You definitely did, yeah. Because I was going to have to figure out GarageBand or something, which I need to do.
It's
at
sort of
some
it's sort of
point, but-
unfortunate. There's a couple people out there that this has been the kick in the ass. They needed to finally open GarageBand
Yeah.
and see what that was all about.
Yeah. Like
All right.
I just graduated from a cassette recorder. Honestly, like for just recording myself practicing and stuff like that. That's how like
Right.
old
Right.
in the way I am, So what I have now is
Well,
one of those.
record yourself on cassette and email me the cassette.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Now I'm using a lecture recorder, digital little thing that you
Nice.
record like.
It's not gonna happen, but I give $1 million for somebody to snail mail a cassette into this project. I would make it happen. If someone snail mail, if next week someone in the snail mail a cassette was in there, a part for one of these songs, I would go to a fucking thrift store and buy a cassette deck and import that shit into this. I would make that happen.
Hear that, somebody? So you can see the.
No one's watching us. There's one person watching us.
So what are these just the last things that have been typed?
That's actually Twitter stuff. But yeah, when people do chat, it shows up in the same window.
Maybe somebody right now with a cassette player is listening. That's badass, man.
It sounded so good to me. It's always that way when you're. Which I'm glad about. I've never been involved in an actual session of making a record where we weren't convinced that we were making something really, and like this has all the vibes of a session, and which is part of what I really wanted to share with people. So that's already happening.
It's pretty killer too for like people that have never, like non-musicians who've never done anything like this. They can totally like watch the whole thing.
That's definitely happening.
Sometimes I like the lack of sleep sort of effect. Like if the things don't matter anymore. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm like physically getting jittery.
Right. Yeah. There's an end to everything.
So you're staying in this room?
In that room. Man, if I could splice these together, it'd be long enough.
What is that for?
There's some fucking cable going up in this bitch. With the
cable TV.
Yeah. Got the TV there. I just gotta run the line out to the thing. And I bought all this cable today. Right there. Then Liz brought this from her house.
Do you just have to plug in the box? Is that it?
Not Sleep, man. Sleep hard. Sleep hard.
Good work today, little microphone.
I was proud of you.
All of that creamy texture is going to come from the snow. This is a perfectly smooth, evenly blended. And look at the capacity here. It's terrific.
All of this looks so good. Blended really fast, too. I can just pour it out of the spout here.
Oh, wow. Look at this creamy texture.
Oh, look at mine. So easy. I'm going to pop a straw in here. Mmm.
Wait. It's incredible.
All these
Wow.
blueberries, strawberries, bananas all blended together. I love it.
I can't believe it's only 50 calories.
Oh yeah, baby. Finding channels right and left. Hey, Carl. Shake it, man. What an epic night. Nice. Nice. It was who? I just pulled off an amazing thing. It's not very often that you can get drunk and kick ass at the same time, but I pulled it off tonight. Of course, the pressure wasn't really on me. I just had to be present and encouraging and be sure the mic was hot. So that was easy. It was a fun night. And got gold. It was a fun night for a gold miner, that's for sure. Exactly. Well said. Yeah, we got had a great like all afternoon with Trevor Garrett playing like Korg synthesizer on all kinds of stuff. And then Tarka showed up and played some octave violin on the Gypsy song, and played then Dave laid mandolin down on Criminal and Lone Man with a Musket, and then Inion really tore it up with some great violin stuff on definitely on Always Morning in New Orleans somewhere, and Huffin' and Puffin' was really, really nice. And then Troy just got done laying down some stand-up bass, and he played upright bass on Trying to Catch Me a Jesus, and on Fuck the Dinner, and then he bowed his bass on Just Sayin'. So good. Awesome. I almost had a heart attack earlier. I'm gonna go get some rest. You go get them at the market. Have fun. I'm gonna back everything up here because I had a couple of scary moments tonight.